Hello, Jai Hind friends. Welcome to the online lecture series of Employability Skills and Development. We are studying Module 2, that is Communication Skills. I am Assistant Professor Mr. V.R. Vadekar from Department of Electronics and Telecommunication from Matoshi College of Engineering and Research Center, Nasik, affiliated to Savitribai Phule Pune University. So let's start with our today's video. Before starting our today's video, let's have a quick revision. In last lecture, we have discussed about a non-verbal communication. That what is non-verbal communication? What are the different factors affecting the non-verbal communication? Then we have studied the different styles of communication. That is aggressive, passive, passive aggressive, and assertive. And after that, we have discussed about how to practice your assertive communication and make it into your day-to-day life. Today, we are going to talking about a public speaking, listening versus hearing, and communication in digital world. So, public speaking, it means speaking in front of a large group or addressing the crowd. Well, speaking in front of large group, which makes most people nervous. So you can use these three techniques of 3 Ps to get over your fears and become a confident and effective speaker. These are prepare, practice, and perform. Well, for preparation, think about your topic. Think about what your listeners need to know about the topic, and also emphasize that what kind of age your listeners are. They are children, or they are young generation, or they are old generation. Think about the best way to make your listeners understand your topic. Use simple words and write what you plan to say on a paper. After that, practice. Practice by yourself first. Talk in front of mirror. Talk in front of your family and friends, relatives, and ask them what they think. Speak clearly, loudly, and at the right speed, not very fast nor very slow. And the third is perform. So take a few deep breaths. If you are feeling nervous in front of people, think about what you have prepared, practiced, and start speaking confidently. Now, listening versus hearing. Listening is a fundamental, to successful communication. It is important skill to understand and interpret the message correctly in the communication process. So, there is a clear distinction between listening and hearing. Hearing is about perceiving sounds, whereas listening requires complete attention. Listening is an active process involving focus not only on the meaning but how the meaning is formed through the type of language used, the tone and voice, and other physical cues. Listening takes note of both verbal and non-verbal content of a message. Any auditory message not received well would just create sounds. And this is what happens with hearing and we fail to understand. Poor listening definitely, it creates a gap between the sender and the receiver of the message, and they generate a poor feedback and affects the productivity and morale of an individuals. Now we would discuss about the barriers to listening. Listening is probably the most ignored of all communication skill. Fortunately, if you are interested you can improve your listening. So, to be a good listener, you need to take care of the following hindrances to listening. First is prejudice. Mostly, people are driven by their preconceived set of beliefs and assumptions. When we are prejudiced about something, we usually are unreasonable and draw our own impressions and judgments which may not match the reality. And this not only derails the communication process but also leads to irrational behavior and strained relationship. Next is your self concentrations. People are so much obsessed about their own self that they are hardly care for others' views and sentiments. They behave like Mr. Know All and don't allow enough space for new perspectives of an information or better engagement with members in a team. Third is your distractions. If the distraction, it is a physical, it may be the problem of workplace. One such distraction is noise in the workplace environment, which disrupts flow of information and leads to unclear and insufficient listening by the target listener. And these days, noise is created at the workplace by people, talking over phones and playing loud music. Traffic around the office also affects the listening process. Fourth is selective listening. Some professionals would see and hear only what they want to see and hear. These selective listeners, pay attention to only specific information that serves their interest. Either they intentionally ignore other detail or they are not, present mentally at workplace. Continuous selective listening is detrimental to the success of the communication process. Fifth is language background. Different language backgrounds of the sender and the receiver, pose a hindrance to effective listening. Both fail to understand each other's idea. Sometimes, even when the sender and the receiver have a common linguistic framework, the communication process it breaks down due to use of jargons or puns, foreign terms, complex phrases, and local usages. And last is your cultural setting. As the workplace attracts people from diverse cultures and regions, it becomes difficult for them to understand and respond to a communication in the same way. While working, as a group in an office, professionals should be attentive listeners and sensitive enough to accommodate such cultural and regional differences for harmonious and coexistence and improved compatibility. Now, what are the fundamentals of good listening? Listening is a skill that can be developed and mastered with patience and preparations. Dan Schilling laments in her article in Forbes that how genuine listening has become a rare gift, that is a gift of time. It helps, build relationships, solve problems, ensure understanding, resolve conflicts, and improve accuracy. At work, effective listening means a fewer errors and less wasted time. At home, it helps develop resourceful, self-reliant kids who can solve their own problems. Listening builds friendship and careers. It saves money and marriages. Well, in pursuit of improving your listening skill, you may practice the fundamentals which is explained in following section. First is be open-minded. An open mind helps you listen to a speaker objectively. You should avoid making judgment and try to understand the speaker's perspective. It makes you a poor listener if you come to conclusion without comprehending the real message of the speaker. Second is be focused. The best thing you can do for your speaker is to give them your undivided attention. Never do anything distracting while listening to the speaker. Put aside your important papers, hold your calls, stop looking out of the window, and indulge in other physical distractions. Don't give any impressions that you are uninterested or distracted. Third is be empathetic. Empathy, is an integral part of good listening. Try to put yourself in the speaker's shoes and understand his or her intent. Try your best to make the speaker comfortable and composed. Don't interrupt at any stage. Allow him or her to express his or her views freely. You can nod or signal your positive feedback with proper facial expressions. Fourth is be sincere and silent. One major problem often encountered in the communication process is that everyone wants to speak at no one wants to listen. To be a good listener, you must remain silent while listening to the speaker. Train yourself to listen to someone sincerely without disturbance and wait for your chance to speak. Fifth is be sensitive. In your efforts to improve listening, keep your senses alert to engage actively in any given situation. Your active senses help you grasp a message in its totality. And last is be observant. An active listener will not only observe what is being communicated, but also notice what is not being communicated. Good listening demands a clear observation and assimilation of verbal and non-verbal aspects of a message. Now, the last topic is communication in a digital world. Today, communication technology is one of the essential elements needed for running business. Everything is online, and the way market communicates with the customer has changed forever. Organizations are now using communication technology to communicate faster, facilitate decision making, train employees, and promote business. We can't imagine a business activity that is the devoid of use of the communication technology, and it has played the role of a powerful enabler for young corporate India that is ambitious and tech savvy and eagerly waiting to make a difference at the workplace. The modern workplace uses a host of NIS technologies of new technologies to communicate to with consumers and general public. Professionals are quickly adapting to a global practices with faster, smarter, and easy applications and replacing their old communication methods. Emails, voice, video chat, newsletter, magazines, internet, intranet, digital media, and not to forget the latest sensation that is a social media. Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram are all being used increasingly for organizational communications. The digital age driven by online networks and computer has completely overtaken business and their communication practices. So many new technologies of communication have been developed in recent years, and the following sections describe the use of some of these communication technologies. First is email. It is a very quick and smart way of connecting to outside world. Sending email is much quicker than writing message, and the advantage of email lies in its cost and convenience. Companies can send thousands or millions of emails each year with almost no incremental cost per piece. Email is easily achieved, is archived to facilitate compliance. in regulated industries for protecting precious data and improving credibility of the business. Next is websites. Well, websites anchor public marketing for most small business. A well designed website share basic information like product and service list and associated cost. Some companies go a step further and use their website to host customer discussion forum, videos, documents and blog posts. With website interaction, customers believe that they are getting something of a value while business increase their goodwill among their target market. Third is your social media. Social media today, the hottest trend in business communication is a social media marketing. That is careful use of social networking sites like Facebook, MySpace, YouTube, Twitter to engage consumers within the context of their trusted circle of friends and family. Consumers create online profiles on social networking sites and business create a fan pages or Twitter accounts that customers may like or otherwise associate with. Although some communication consultants oversell the promise of social media, it is truly becoming a new game changer for a corporate leader who wants to leverage the collective intelligence of its talent. Fourth is video conferencing. Video conferencing is a live video connection between people placed in separate locations, established for the purpose of communication or interaction among them. Video conferencing allows people to communicate visually from anywhere in the world. Groups see each other and interact in real time, and although they may be a world apart. Example, your online lectures, meeting through your Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Team, etc. So companies are using this communication technology regularly for business promotion expenses, enhances the effectiveness of communication, productivity, and collaboration. And fifth is your video phone. It is it is a device, that simultaneously transmits and receives both audio and video signals over a telephone line to facilitate an effective audio-visual engagement between two partners. A computer or a television is not needed, and yet the video conferencing is possible through a video phone. Because of these qualities, video phone is widely preferred in business circles. Every corporate is waking up to the reality that how best it can employ new age communication tools to have a greater bonding and effective management of its employee. If used correctly, new communication technology provides business various cost effective ways to connect with their business partners and forge new bonds for efficiency and productivity. Real time conversations enabled by communication technology energize the workplace and speed up operations and decision making. To optimize the use of communication technology, it is important to leverage it strategically and treat it as an integral part of a company's overall strategy. And the new media based on communication technology have tremendous power to save business time, money, and workforce. So, friends, today we have discussed about public speaking, how to improve public speaking skills. Then we have seen about what are the fundamentals of good listening, what is difference between listening and hearing, what are the barriers to listening, and then we have discussed about the communication in a digital world. So, thank you very much, friends, for today's lecture.